My guest at this time is the creator, star, writer of the upcoming film, a pro wrestling movie, The Legend of Dirty Ron. It's Mikey Gordon. Mikey, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about this upcoming film.
Well, Nick, I heard about Wrestling Inc., and I know that there's a lot of dirt sheets out there, and I wanted to come to some of the most credible wrestling websites out there. You guys hit me back, and thank you so much for having us on here. This project, it's not just a film, it's a film that employs over 20 professional wrestlers, current and former. That's what we're really going for here. Is not just another movie about pro wrestling or with pro wrestlers in it. This is a pro wrestling movie.
Yeah, well, I've seen some screen grabs of it here, some clips of the film, and first of all, when you were talking about the dirt sheets, I was going to say, well, who better to talk to the dirt sheets than Dirty Ron? But yeah, dude, I mean, it looks wild, it looks fun, it looks crisp, man. Talk to everybody out there a little bit about how you came up with the idea for this movie, because I have a lot of questions based off of what I've seen, Mikey.
Well, here's what this is. It's first and foremost, it's a movie by pro wrestling fans for pro wrestling fans. I'm 37 years old. My mother was a territorial independent pro wrestler back in the late 70s. Wow. In the St. Louis territory. I've been an unknown shitty pro wrestler for 21 years now. I run a shitty independent promotion called Fist Combat. I've been all on the underbelly of the pro wrestling industry for the last couple of decades. So, this is what Pablo and I are pro wrestling fans first and foremost. Pablo has worked for a number of different promotions, doing a lot of video and editing work on them. And we came together to make what we hope to be the National Lampoons of professional wrestling movies. This is not going to just be one film. We have a plethora of films ready behind this thing that are going to keep employing pro wrestlers. Like I said, we have over 20 pro wrestlers, current and former, employed on this movie already. And what I'm here really to promote is not only the movie, it's that we're running an Indiegogo. When Pablo and I got into this as pro wrestling fans, we thought we could take $10,000, go run and gun with a Jeep, some lights, a camera, make a movie. Turns out this thing's an actual full-length 80-minute feature film starring Rob Van Damme, Victoria, Effie, Matt Seidel, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And this, that's what this is. This is our love letter to the professional wrestling industry.
Okay. And
we're here to raise $50,000 to complete the film.
Okay, yeah, totally, man. And that's very admirable. So before this, did you have screenwriting experience? Like, what was your film experience before all of this?
Well, so I love to jump into things full-heartedly, and that's what I've done here. Is that our love of the professional wrestling industry started from birth. I've watched all of the WrestleManias live. I'm 37, and I'm about to watch my 37th WrestleMania live. I've been to 4 of them. Like some of my best friends are pro wrestlers. So to answer your question, no, we don't. But the crew that we have on this film has a wide range. The IMDb pages are as long as Jeff Hardy's arrest sheet. It's their IMDb pages. They're incredible. Pablo and I our experiences from the pro wrestling industry, and we took our love of pro wrestling and turned it into a full-length 80-minute feature film. But Pablo and I, not really a whole lot of experience making movies. That's why we're asking the world of pro wrestling to help us finish making this movie.
I love the story here and your candor, Mikey. And that's the thing that's surprising to me, is because you say it's you got a shitty wrestler, the shitty company. Dude, this stuff looks fantastic. It looks very cleanly and well made from what I've been seeing of the film so far. It looks like it's very well produced up to this point.
I know, I appreciate that, and that's really what the big hurdle for us was. Is that when you watch independent wrestling, if you compare the top level independent wrestling, not the top level, near top level independent wrestling versus a top level major motion picture, there's a huge bridge gap there. So when we were looking at $100 million budget movies, we're like, well, we don't need to create that. The pro wrestling industry is almost used to a certain production level. It's not the best production level. Sometimes some of these indie promotions like Game Changer Wrestling that are charging $15 to watch their pay-per-view, they've got a couple cameras set up with a switcher. I'm not knocking what they got, but when we wanted to put this film together, we didn't want it to just be some run and gun bing, bang, boom, put out a film like I've seen other indie films with pro wrestlers in it. We wanted to make it something kind of special, but also, you know, we don't have $100 million budget. We're trying to make this entire film under $100,000, which if we do that, and which we plan on doing once we reach our $50,000 goal, is that not only will we be hopefully changing the game in wrestling as far as the way wrestlers are able to make an income outside of the ring, is that we're also trying to change the film industry too, because a micro budget film, something that Seth Rogen makes as a micro budget film, is $1 to $2 million. So if we're able to make a full length feature film for under $100,000, hopefully we plan to be a case study for other independent filmmakers, for other independent wrestling promotions, for other independent wrestlers, because what this was, me 15 years of being wrestled at the Gathering of the Juggalos here and there. You wrestled for every, shindy indie wrestling promotion that ever existed. I finally came up with a character that described who I was as a person in Dirty Ron McDonald, a character that debuted 4 years ago that was just supposed to last for 6 months, kicking people in the nuts, but turned out to connect with people because Dirty Ron is who Michael Gordon is. And I finally found my voice 15 years after lacing up my boots and putting on my fancy underwear for the first time.
Okay, so Dirty Ron McDonald. For those that don't know what this movie is about, can you real quickly give us the 10,000-foot view of what a pro wrestling movie, The Legend of Dirty Ron, is about?
So Dirty Ron is the fast. Okay, so we don't say McDonald's in the film because obvious reasons, right?
Right.
So Dirty Ron is a fast food mogul's playboy son who gets cut off for having too much sex and too much fun at his job place.
Sure.
So down on his luck, stoned, with nowhere to turn, he finds a former dumpster-dwelling heavyweight pro wrestling champion played by Rob Van Damme. And this Rob Van Damme character, the Moo Moo Mauler, says to Dirty Ron, well, hey kid, I can teach you how to be a pro wrestler. So Dirty Ron has nowhere else to turn in life but to become a professional wrestler. And hey, the world champion is looking for some dipshit schmuck to give a chance to, played by Effie, called Rainbow Star. And he gives the guy a shot.
Okay, cool. And how did you get in touch with Rob Van Dam and convince him to be a part of this movie? What was it like to work with him on this?
I started working with Rob about 6 years ago, booking stand-up comedy shows. Okay. I've been doing stand-up comedy. I was Afro Man's tour manager and opening act for a few years from like 2011 to 2013. Okay. I booked a lot of different shows. So working with Rob, like I've run into him a couple times, I working in passing, and, to ask it, he was the first person that I locked in that really got everybody else to lock in, because when Rob was a guest at my wedding reception last July and came and I pitched him the script, and, he was like, I love this. I actually pitched him my second film, which is a parody of the movie The Wrestler, which he actually had a little bit more interested in this script. But I don't want to spoil anything yet. But so he loved the script. He read it. He was like, all right, you want me to dress up like a crazy old man and jump in a dumpster for you? And I was like, yeah, please. He's like, I guess I'm the whole fucking dumpster show now, So yeah, man, working with him. Victoria was incredible to work with. She lives here in San Diego where we filmed some of the movie. Effie, I've just known through, connections inside the wrestling business. And honestly, making a connection with Brett Lauderdale and Game Changer Wrestling a couple of years ago and running some co-promoted shows with Fist Combat over the last couple of years has really gotten to broaden my horizons with the current independent wrestlers and whatnot. And Brett Lauderdale and Game Changer Wrestling have helped me a lot.
I mean, Effie's got Big Gay Brunch. I mean, Dirty Ron's dirty, I don't know, whatever hour of wrestling.
Dirty Dumpster Dive.
Dirty Dumpster Dive. You've obviously thought about it already,
I don't know. I'm spitting off the cup here, Nick. I'm hyped. This is day number 1 of our promotion for this film. At times here, so we filmed in November, and when we got on set, we knew a little bit into that we were in a little bit over our heads, and either we were going to rush this thing and put it out there, or we're going to take our time and make it done right. And it didn't go according to schedule, but when does life ever go according to schedule?
Yeah.
And here we are. And we're putting ourselves out there. I'm 37 years old. I've never had a credit card. I've never had a loan. I've never asked anybody for a dime in my entire life. So to do this for us is, I don't want to put this as like a story about me, but like, this is a story about me taking pretty much my entire life savings, almost $50,000 up to this point, investing it into this film. We don't have a film done, and now I need $50,000 to make the rest of it. And we'll be making films for the rest of our lives.
You mentioned how Rob said, "What do you want to do? Get all make myself look old, throw myself in a dumpster." There was like the big kind of publicity thing that's kind of sprung out about the film was this photo that he put up where he's like with you and he's with Pablo, and everybody's like, "Look how old Rob Van Damme has gotten." Are you surprised that this has been the kind of buzzy thing that everybody's talking about as far as what's come out of production for this film?
Surprise, no. Rob Van Dam's the biggest star that we've got in this film so far. Yeah. The sixth person to ever be a Grand Slam champion in WWE. I'm sure you knew that. But like, when he went, like wrestling fans are very supportive of pro wrestling things inside the wrestling industry. And that's where we really want to tap into, because that's who we are. We are pro wrestling fans. So when we sat down with Rob and talked to him about this, that's what interests him. And you'll see some videos come out of the next couple of weeks candid interviews that we did. We wanted Rob to not be Rob. Like every time, even in ECW, even in WWE and TNA and all the promotions, Rob Van Dam is Rob Van Dam. But here, he's playing a character. He got into makeup every day. He had so much fun on set. He stayed an extra day for us, at no extra cost. And I don't know if he wants me out there telling him that story, but I don't know if anybody wants to be telling this either, but everybody is investing into this. I don't think anybody's being paid their normal rate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they've all compromised something to be a part of this because they believe it's something special. And like that means a lot to me because they believe in it the same way I do. And it's scary to ask people to believe in you, when deep down you don't know if you believe in yourself. And that's not a put on, that's no bullshit, is that when we started this, it was supposed to be $10,000 and I was still gonna have a life savings. Now, here we are March 1st with my life savings is almost completely depleted. Sure. And, I'm eating ramen noodles a lot of nights, which is, I knew what I was getting myself into, but here we are. And now it's put up or shut up time. We thought we were gonna have a movie at the end of November and now it's March and we don't. So either we're gonna make this film or I'm going to reconfigure my life after this. But one way or another, if Dirty Ron's got to do some dirty things, this movie's going to get made.
So is the plan then here, I'm guessing, to make this back is to land on a streaming platform, to take it to festivals? Like, what do you hope to do with this film, Mikey?
A great question. None of those. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing this movie live to a theater near you, to a town near you. We're going to be touring this thing. You will not be able to see this thing stream. For the first year that it's out, we were only meaning me, Pablo, and the stars of the movie, everywhere from Effie to the comedians, we're taking the show on the road. It's going to be a live experience, just like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So when you see the movie, you're going to get to see props from the movie. You're going to get to see question and answers with the stars of the movie. You're going to get to, you're going to meet and greets with all the stars of the movie. We're taking this on the road. You can't see it anywhere. You can only see it live. We are bringing live entertainment back to major cities all across the United States. And what are we going to be doing while we're doing that? Let me tell you, Nick, is we're going to be raising the funds from the first movie to film the second movie. So our plan is hopefully by WrestleMania next year is to have 2 films ready to go on some major streaming platform, or who knows, maybe we'll just do it all ourselves and give it directly to the fans of the world. Because streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, even like IWTV and Fight TV, they take a big chunk of your money. I'm not shitting on them, but if we're going to work out hard and we're going to put all the work in to make this movie, we're going to put in all the work to bring it to you guys. We're not going to rely on a streaming service. We're not going to rely on somebody pirating it off the thing and sharing some link. We're bringing the show right to you.
Man, I love you bringing this rebellious pro wrestling spirit directly to the independent filmmaking genre. I can feel in your voice, Mikey, how much this means to you and how passionate you are about this, man.
I hope if anything, the 1,000 interviews that I have lined up for the rest of the month, that's all I hope to come across. This is a movie for pro wrestling fans by pro wrestling fans, and we are not going to stop here. I'm 37. I'm breaking down, you know, like nobody's signing me anytime soon. So if I want a future in entertainment and inside pro wrestling, I got to figure something else out. So I'm wearing the same headband I wore when I fought Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw 4 years ago, because it's good luck. It's good luck. It's good luck.
Yeah, buddy.
Vince McMahon told me I did a great job that night, so I'm parlaying this into a film.
Wow, that's got to mean the world, man. You walked through the curtain, and Vince McMahon was there to tell you specifically that you've done a great job, eh?
So I'll give you the story quick. So I did my little 2-minute match with Braun Strowman. It was a 2-on-1. They gave me a promo on October 10th, 2016. It's actually pretty funny. I popped the crowd. It was dope. What was the coolest was when I came up backstage, I walked through Gorilla, head down, you know, and I shut my mouth, walked the hallway, put my stuff down. I'm coming back. Long hallway, 40 feet long, 50 people in this long hallway. And I see all the way at the end of the hallway, who is there but the mammoth of man, Vince McMahon himself. He's all the way down the hall. And I swear to God, Nick, he's looking at me right in my eyes. And I'm like, no fucking way. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop. Because they tell us, they go, don't take no pictures. Don't bother nobody. You're an extra. Shut the fuck up, rookie. Eat your catering and do what the fuck we tell you, right? So I'm like, oh my God, it's Vince McMahon. Here he's walking this way, right? So I'm like, all right, he's walking down the hallway. I'm like, I'm going to stop, right? So I stop, I wait for what seems like 2 hours, and it was probably like 5 seconds. I look, I'm standing there trying to be cool. I look up, I swear to God, he's looking at me still right in my fucking eyes. At this point, I'm like, holy shit, he is walking towards me. What did I do? Did I fuck up? What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Oh my God, what's going on? Like all these thoughts are going through my head. And then I look up and there he is, Vince fucking McMahon. And I looked at him and he looked at me and I looked at him and he looked at me and I looked at him and he looked at me and he said, son, you did a great job. Great job, son. Thank you very much. You did a great job. Thank you so much. And I didn't know what to do. And I was like, thank you. I've been a lifelong fan. I didn't know what to say because the best compliment from the best person in my lifelong journey of being a pro, it couldn't get any better himself. If Hulk Hogan had let me have sex with his wife, it wouldn't be any better than the feeling that I got. Vince McMahon telling me I did a great job. A minute later, Stephanie McMahon did the same thing, and it was the best night of my life.
Wow, Mikey. You know, why are you on NXT then? Where's your NXT title shot? Vince McMahon liked you so much.
Oh, I love smoking weed. So, plus, honestly, like, you know, this is another thing I wanted to prove with this, and I probably should have said this earlier. Everybody that I casted for this movie, from Rob Van Damme to Victoria to Effie, I didn't audition anybody. I casted them all. But you're in it. I wrote this role for you. Here it's for you. And the reason I wrote these roles for the people I wrote them for is because they all made a name for themselves outside of the big company in Stanford. Right. Victoria made a name for herself inside bodybuilding. Effie made a name for himself with the Big Gay Brunch and, you know, being a pillar in the LGBTQ community. Rob Van Damme told WWE to go fuck themselves when they want him to fly overseas to go fight in front of the troops. These are all people involved in this film. And there's more to come. Matt Sydal, somebody else that I started wrestling with in the backyards 21 years ago, that everybody that's a part of this film made a name for themselves outside of a major company. And we're all showing the world that we can make a living inside the pro wrestling industry without being signed to a major contract.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned the smoking weed. You know, I saw that Rob Van Damme tagged Tommy Chong in that photo that everybody was talking about as well. So you say National Lampoons, but stoner comedy, do you feel like that's a proper vertical to kind of say that this film is in or no?
Oh, without a doubt, 100% stoner comedy. Tommy Chong. So to just address that real quick, we were in talks with his people, and because of COVID and the fact that he's like 82 years old, it's been hard to get him on set. Thank God that this kind of break put us in with production. So we are going to be able to get him on set. It's just a matter of what time because of his age and health risks. So Tommy Chong will be a part of the film. It's just a matter of when we're going to get him on set. And since we haven't done that yet, we aren't advertising it yet.
Dude, how cool is that, dude? I mean, as somebody who's smoking a blunt right in front of me on camera, I can tell that you're probably a pretty big Tommy Chong fan. That's
Big time.
that's got to be quite a compliment to know that he's interested and willing to work with you guys on this.
Without a doubt. Well, is that we wanted to bring not only different genres into this film, indie filmmaking, pro wrestling, and stoners, is that we wanted to bring multi-generational figures from all types. We have Rob Van Damme, old school generation wrestler. We have Effie, current, wrestler. Miranda Alizé, who just was on AEW Dark, is in the film. Mecha Wolf is in the film. Matt Seidel's in the film. Mariachi Loco and Lil Cholo, who are part of Lucha Underground, are on the film. Is that we wanted to get wrestlers not just from the generation that I like, from the current generation and the next generation. And the same thing with stoners, is that Tommy Chong was the original stoner comedy from the 70s. Like they made the whole industry. So to have him be a part of this project is monumental. And I don't know how I'm not going to bawl my eyes out the day that we do crack that goal, because I think it's going to happen. I hope it is. And it's got to. It's got to.
Dude, I like to ask people, like, what are your goals? And you kind of answer. You're like, my goal is to smoke weed with Tommy Chong. And that is an admirable goal, Mikey. That is an admirable goal. So,
hey, I don't want to totally spoil it, but, old McDonald, he had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and what a perfect role for Tommy Chong to play. And old McDonald owning the pot farm. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, Mikey, I'm on the hook. I hope you get this money. I think I want you to stop eating ramen noodles and get back to thriving, man. What a story.
I'm able to throw a little chicken powder in there sometimes, so it's cool.
That's cool. The good stuff. Tony Sachery's, that's also a nice little kick.
Peppers, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to make sure to get out all the info about our Indiegogo and all that.
Please.
We do have a website, aprowrestlingmovie.com. It's not pro wrestling, it's pro wrestling. APRORASSLIN, no G, MOVIE, aprowrestlingmovie.com. Same with all of our social media at a pro wrestling movie. Shout out to my boy Schlack in the Shitters Full sweatshirt that I got directly from him. I don't go to those websites where you buy pro wrestling t-shirts. I go to the places directly where you buy them from the wrestlers themselves. That's the way you got to do it, direct.
Got it. Awesome. And then you would like the wrestling fans to support you directly then in this situation as well. Yes?
Well, why give anybody else their cut? If the wrestlers are out here, working real hard and, going out there and putting their bodies on the line, why shouldn't they make all the money directly? And that's hopefully with this movie too, is that we're showing wrestlers that, hey, hopefully I can inspire other independent wrestling promotions to look at, where they're investing their money. And hey, like putting on live streaming events is dope, but why don't we continue to show the world why pro wrestling is the best form of entertainment ever? Why don't we continue to show wrestling as a live comedy, action, drama, improv, stunt show that's all done in one take while we're all in our fancy underwear, sweating with an audience 360 degrees around us, just like Shakespeare. No other place can you see live entertainment like that, where you're encouraged to be a part of the show, to get drunk and heckle the show. At Fist Combat, we encourage everybody to get drunk and heckle the show. Be part of the show, because that's what pro wrestling is. We're out here, we're making memories. We're taking real life conflict, like fake world conflict, and put it in front of your face, making you forget about what's going on in this world. So a pro wrestling movie doesn't just represent our film. It represents all of independent wrestling. It represents all of pro wrestling. And it shows people what pro wrestling is. It's art, and it's fun, and it's full of love, and everybody can enjoy it.